Welcome back. It's time for the newspaper review and analysis. And we have in the studio today our analyst, Mr. Simon Fakeye. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning.
All right, morning.
Okay.
I'm sure you're having, you had a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, thank God. All went well.
Okay. Was there any special event?
Not really.
Not really.
Some of us were monitoring, at the FCT election,
Elections.
and thereafter we have to meditate on the outcome.
Okay. I think some of the reports of the election came out on the national dailies too. When we get there. All right. So straight to the we have Daily Trust with us this morning. Daily Trust newspaper. We have the Punch. We have Vanguard, and we have The Nation, and also we have the Punch newspaper. Straight from the word of the Daily Trust newspaper, it says 2025 budget, capital without cash. 2025 budget. Capital without cash. Nigeria's economic growth may be under a serious threat as several ministries received zero or near zero capital budget release in 2025. And despite huge appropriation approved by the National Assembly, experts have warned. Experts are saying that so far so good. The budget, it was a capital without cash. What is your own take from the economic point of view?
Yeah. We all agree that the effect, it's what we are facing now. Yeah, we knew there was kind of deficit in most part of last year because the implementation, were not there due to shortage in funds. Unavailability of fund, and that is what is called budget. Budget is estimate of what is expected to be done without the cash on the table. So it's a way of saying, oh, this is our goal, our budget. This is what we want to do for 2025. They will not be waiting for the funds for it to come. I think that has been the practice, but unfortunately, the funds were not forthcoming as expected. And that's, I believe, responsible for so much loan that was sought after, last year. A matter of about 2-3 times, the president has to submit proposal for loan to the National Assembly. There were issues. Nigerians, some of them, they didn't want the National Assembly to approve of it. Fortunately, to the presidency, they got approval, and some of the budget funds were assessed. But the truth of the matter is that I think about the federal government was able to assess about 40% of the whole budget for 2025, which is unfortunate because now we have carried over. And I think about 2 weeks ago, there was that statement from the federal government that about 70% of the capital project for 2025 will be moved into 2026, meaning that whatever has been budgeted for 2026, we have to queue for about 70% of the 2025 to be attended to. And the reality is that except in 2024, when about 80% of the budget were carried out, then we didn't have it right in 2025. Come 2026, even the 70%, with the look of things, it's not likely that federal government will be able to fund more than 20 to 40% of the 70% of 2025. So I think President Tinubu realized as facing reality about this issue. That was the reason he's coming up with so many policies that can enable him to meet up what is on ground, especially the issue of the taking control of oil proceeds directly into the federation account. That is one of the then the other one was the issue of selling treasury bills instead of allowing more funds to lie in banks to be accessible to manufacturers or investors. So the president is working hard to ensure that there is an end to this embarrassing situation, a kind of budget deficit. So according to the headline, it's a serious problem. But I believe that with the way things are going, the way the president is approaching it, there's going to be a good outcome at the end of the day.
All right, let's hope that it's going to be a good outcome at the end of the day. Thanks for that insight. Straight to the World of Vanguard newspaper. 2027 elections, APC, 4 other parties ready, 16 in disarray, may not present candidates for most offices. I think prior to this, we discussed some time ago about how ADC was still struggling with coming up with a manifesto, and then you have PDP with court cases and legal issues, and then you have just APC and few other parties that are ready for the election. And the election is about, I think, less than a year or so to go. What is your own take on this?
Yeah, it is just a way of saying simply that the other parties are not ready. Even the other 4, they are not ready. I mean, from my own standpoint, what is the readiness where the main opposition, the PDP, is divided? There are factions. And the results, I think, is part of what came out of the FCT poll. So I don't want to believe they are ready. But theoretically, I mean, for their name to appear on the ballot, they are ready. But in terms of coming up with expectation of the Nigerian masses, expected results, they are not there. Maybe in time, in the coming days, they may get themselves ready.
All right. Away from the world of the Vanguard newspaper, let's quickly go straight to the world of the Guardian newspaper. It says, uncertainty trails future of share not export as 6-month ban ends. I think August last year was when the federal government placed a ban on exports of share butters, and so far so good. Stakeholders are divided about this export ban. They feel like some are saying for those who are the manufacturers and the farmers are suffering. They don't have the markets to get their goods to purchase them. But I want to find out from you, do you think such a ban on very vital vital things like share nuts, do you think it poses a danger for Nigeria's economy?
Yeah, exportation, it's a real threat to Nigeria economy. And that is why at times when you are complaining of a leadership problem in Nigeria, we have to also look at the followership. This is a policy that was put in place to ensure that farmers really make good money from their sweat. I mean, in economic terms, that is to enable local production. Yes, but now the same farmers who are to be the beneficiary of the policy are now complaining that the exports is being affected. Yes, that is what federal government was trying to reduce, planning to address rather, because the more the shea nut is being exported, the more it affects our economy. One, the farmers will not be able to get enough worth of the production, because we all believe that there's more money or more profit in processing, in manufacturing, than selling it raw outside. The same thing that is, we were facing in terms of crude oil until Dangote came around to build the refinery. So the same thing with this shea nut. When it is exported raw, it is the foreign nations, the buyers over there, who make a hell of money from it, who are the best, who are gaining more, and at the expense of our farmers here. So in addition to that, the ban make it try to encourage investors local investors to put their money in processing of shea nut. The advantage of that is that there will be more employment. Our people will be gainfully employed. Then the products will attract more profit than selling it raw. So these are the factors that federal government has considered in order to boost the economic life of our people. But it's unfortunate that some of them are now complaining that it's the exportation is being, the shea butter is not and has not been meant for export. I mean, in the real sense of it, take for instance, if you have been to the market to buy shea butter, you will see that it has become so expensive, so costly these days. It is because of the exportation. So it's like saying what has not been enough for local consumption, we are now exporting it for the benefit of others. So I don't want to agree with the complainers or agitators. No, this is good for us. Let's process it. Let's local investors come in. Let's process it. Let's create employment. Let's make it more valuable and profitable for the farmers.
All right, thank you for that insight. Straight to the Word of the Nation newspaper. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, APC victory in FCT, Rivers, Kano, a referendum on Tinubu's government. I don't want to say, well, that is according to the Nation newspaper. I'll take that again. It says APC victory in FCT, Rivers, Kano, a referendum on Tinubu's government. Ruling party sweeps into big win in Abuja councils by elections. President AO's peaceful poll. We saw what happened in, thank God you said you were monitoring the election, and then I want to find out from you, do you think the result or the outcome of what happened on Saturday was a deep reflection of the popularity of the President Tinubu's administration?
Yes, that word, the use of popularity is relative in this case. I mean, from my own standpoint. For instance, I was monitoring the poll just for one reason. During the 2023 general election that brought in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think APC lost FCT. Now, over some months now, the Minister Wike has been busy fighting his godson at Rivers. So I was eager to see. I was anxious. I wanted to know to what extent can he combine the two fights and win both. But fortunately for him, he was able to.
I want to find out how brutal would it have been for political commentator if APC had lost the election. Do you think they would have pin the blame on Wiki, saying, "Oh, he left"?
Exactly. He has to be. He will bear the blame because some of us will have felt that instead of most of the time he needed to concentrate on what is happening in the FCT towards the council election. He has expended it on Fubara, whatever. So, but fortunately for him, he won. So the import is that it's shown that Minister Wike is competent, regardless of his countenance when he's dealing with issues, regardless of his way of addressing matters, he's competent. Yeah, he can handle. And I want to give it to the president, who had, when nobody thought of Minister Wike for that particular position, has deemed it fit to appoint him, such a man from that part of the country to man FCT. And coming from the background that I'm not sure we've had people from these parts, the South, to head FCT.
At all.
So for him to choose or appoint Wike is a credence to him, to his political Jagabanism, let me put it that way. So now, in terms of the popularity you are talking about, not really. There are other factors that really made it possible. The fact that the presidency resides in FCT. And one other point, that APC is well structured. Their structure is intact, unlike other parties.
So people are also saying that Wike has done excellently well as minister in terms of infrastructure, in terms of...
Yes, you are right. So you have put certain things in place that can convince the people that
Yes.
more will come. So the people have hope to some extent. In terms of popularity, you know, the opposition are not relenting. They are really working against federal government and the ruling party. All this. But Wike is a man to beat any day, any time. And that is my point.
All right. Still on the Nation newspaper. Steer clear of Eba oil well. Ayedatiwa warns Abiodun. This is a very serious... I think the governor was... he was at the flag off of the Gbokoda road construction yesterday, and he said that Ogun State... it was warning the governor of Ogun State, that's Dapo Abiodun, to steer clear of... there's this dispute surrounding this Eba oil well. According to the governor of Ondo State, they are saying that it belongs to the Laje, that's Ajiteri or something community, and then the governor of Ogun State is also saying that no, this is Ogun Waterside. So where exactly should lay claim to this?
Well, it is unfortunate. I have not been there before.
And they are in the same party.
Yes, I've not been there. No, this is a party out of it.
It's out of it.
This is, we're talking of asset, wealth. And that is the target of political animals. So, all political animals are that. Now, you see, it's just like Yoruba. I want to put it from my own background. It is, just let me, that is personal. This issue of Gbokoda, Eba oil, and I said it the other time, the fault lies with the federal government. Before you give approval to something of this nature, I mean, a thorough paperwork must have been carried out. Especially that has to do with the location and who has the right. What is the content of that approval has been my concern. Who approved it? Is it orally or in black and white? Now, if it is in black and white, what is the content of that approval? Approved for who and for what and for where and when? So let us, what is the content? Let somebody read it out for us. Let it be released and see what is the content. What for? For who? For where? Then this will solve the whole problem. Now, assuming that federal government has committed some error in not disclosing the ownership of that Eba oil, then I think it lies on them again to go back to boardroom and come out with factual and straightforward allocation that we've approved this oil drilling for this also state and for this particular community. So it shouldn't be anything that will be controversial at all if it is not meant to be political. So that is my comment on that. Yeah, coming to the real issue. You know, some of us from Ogun West were happy. We started jubilating that, Tongeji Island oil has, yes, gained presidential assent. Now there's going to be development. Just within some hour, we read again from the online portals that no, the governor said it wasn't the Tongeji thing, that it is for Eba, far away. Okay, so having been our governor, Prince Adedapo Olusegun Abiodun, MFR, concentrated his effort on Tongeji, which is not ambiguous, nothing, no dispute at all between Lagos and Ogun. So, I mean, the process must have commenced now. Maybe they must have started bringing out oil. So, the fund, the financial implication of what is going on there now to the state, I don't doubt it will be enormous. So, this is a way of saying, tí ọmọ ìyá méjì bá jà kú akátá, àlejò ni ó jèrè wọn. I mean, that is my understanding, that if two siblings insist on fighting to finish, it is the stranger or a stranger that will get that will benefit from it mostly. So we should look the right way to ensure that we stand by ourselves. That is what I think is causing the whole problem.
Okay, thank you for that insight. Straight to the word of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Electoral Act, what has changed in new law? That's according to the Senate leader. And it has rider that says mandatory deployment of beavers for voter accreditation. That's one of the things that has changed. And also creation of dedicated fund for INEC, abolition of indirect primaries, creation of digital membership register by political parties, 2-year jail term for REC, who withholds vital documents, and upward review of campaign funds for elective officers. Do you think all these changes that has been amended into the new Electoral Act, do you think it's something we should really be happy about?
Yes.
All?
Yes, now, okay, INEC officer who commit or who participates in the rigging will have 2 jail time. Yes, that will create a kind of fear in them to ensure that they don't support rigging. Then the issue of the beavers, yeah, it is compulsory that all voters must pass through that. Then everything needed to ensure that there's transparency and accountability, fair and what do we call it? Credible election is there. So I support it.
Okay, you support the initiative. Okay, straight and finally to the world of the Punch newspaper. NNPC, NUPRC fear financial squeeze after Tinubu's order. And they say tension soars as executive order disrupts oil revenue flow. Pengassan, NNPC, NUPRC officials foresee funding crisis. I think, according to one report I also saw online, they said Tinubu has actually reverted a bill, I think an order about the oil wells to come back to the federal government. Also, we have the story from the Punch saying that NNPC and the upstream and downstream sector are really complaining of financial, what's it called, is it loss or something after this order. Do you think that was even less on the part of the president?
You mean?
Like in terms of, I think from this report they said yes. NNPC and NURPC fear financial squeeze after Tinubu's executive order.
Yes. You know, their fear is that they won't have access to finance or to money the way they have been used to.
Exactly.
They are flamboyant. They have been spending. Embezzling the money allegedly the way they like. But the money is not there again as soon as the president begins to transfer it to the federation account. So just as some our musicians, Fuji musicians will say, apologies to them, they will say, Enunubambi komusoda. So this has come to stay. Let the whole money go into the federation account. Allow the government, federal government, to disburse it. Okay. So if there is any mismanagement or oversight, we will see for ourselves. But not that somebody will leave the country with about 21 trillion naira and be enjoying. You know that it's unheard of. So let's try. The NNPC, whatever they have been managing the fund, this time around, let the federal government manage it and see. I mean, for 1 or 2 years. So we'll now come back and address if there's any lapses. If there are any lapses, rather.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Simon Fakeye, for that insight on the national stories that made with in the national dailies. We'll be right back after the short break for What's Trending. Don't go anywhere.